Like everybody in South Africa, we woke up to this explosion news, and my very first reaction was just a look of horror. Now, I did the worst thing that I could have done was actually go, because I saw it on Facebook first. Literally my first day back on Facebook, and that's one of the first things I saw. And it was this video, I think Intelligence thingy, the Intelligence Facebook page is the one that posted the video. And on the video, it was just the explosion from a distance and so. So then I was like, okay, when did this happen? I know they don't repost old videos and so it must be recent, right? So I went online and checked, and I found one of the worst videos, right? Of these people that were very close by, in proximity to where the gas explosion happened. When I watched the video, it triggered something. It instantly reminded me of the Jinimbi video. Why the Jinimbi video? When the Jinimbi story happened, you'll remember there was some videos that had been posted out on Twitter, and I think one I saw on Instagram, but didn't last too long because of the algorithm over there. And in that video, it was when they were still trying to rescue the girls who were inside the car. Because the car that Jinimbi used to have, it was very difficult. Unlike your other everyday cars, to get into the back of the seat, it was a bit difficult to get in there. And so these girls were trapped in the back. And so there were some videos that came out, and you could hear them. You could hear them screaming from inside. Now, when it triggered that, why do I say it triggered that memory? Because in this video that I saw, the people that were close by, the blast from that tore up their skin. The burns that they sustained, like everybody that was on that particular video, they didn't have their clothes because this explosion was so powerful, it blasted their clothes off. The screams of these people, the people that were on this video, you know, and my prayers go out to these people because, ooh. And you know, it just kind of reminded me again, you know, when of a good verse, but a good Bible verse, but in this one, it kind of reminded me of it in the state of tragedy. When tragedy strikes, it doesn't give a warning. You might not get a warning, and it could happen to anybody, in any place, anyhow. And the particular verse I'm talking about is when the Bible talks about the rapture, subject of the rapture. It says in the twinkling of an eye, then shall our mortal bodies be changed. When it speaks about that particular event, then mortality shall put on immortality in the instant. Now, it brought back that verse as well because I'm a Christian guy. That's all I think about, right? So it's the first thing that comes to me. But in this, now it came in the sense of the tragedy. Not that the verse was talking about, but in the sense of tragedy. There isn't preparation. Nobody prepares you for that. Even when I was going out to look at the stories around this entire subject, nobody prepared me for what I will see. Nobody said you're going to be reminded of something that horrified you, right? Nobody said, you know, I thought maybe the video was just a video of, you're just gonna see the place that was blasted, kind of verify that really it was in Boksburg, you kind of feel like, nah, it can't be, not here, until you see it. And that's the sense of death. That's the sense of tragedy. That's the sense of the fall of man, is that everything happens instantly. You cannot prepare for it. You don't get, like, I heard of a story where people were going home now in December, and thugs walk into the bus, and they drove with this bus for a distance. When the bus was in drive, these guys pulled out guns and robbed these people. This person thought they were going home, and then somebody ends up getting shot inside there. Tragedy. You don't get to prepare for it. It happens instantly. And with that, therefore, since we cannot prepare for tragedy, so we cannot prepare for what might happen when we are there, we do have an area of comfort in that we can prepare, or we are prepared for what comes after that. We are prepared for what comes after that. Now, that's for me as a believer. When I'm looking at that, right? Someone would say, why don't you just say this? You can't determine how a person reacts to trauma. But for me, who's not in Boksburg, and I see this video and it just pops up, and you hear the screams of people from a distance, and people are right close. Someone is from a distance, and just those sounds stick. To think that something that happened so long ago, the Jinimbi story that I'm talking about, would still come up after I watch something that's not even related. It tells you something about the human experience. Being here on earth tells you something about trauma. It tells you something about having to deal with everyday life. Is that there is a reality aspect that even if we were to try and communicate, you can't. That's why sometimes you meet somebody that has gone through something, and then you're trying to I understand your pain, I understand, and they're like, no, you don't. Even if you in your sympathy can understand, I wouldn't be able to bear with that pain. When you say that, you genuinely mean that I wouldn't. This is tragic. But you hear them say, nah, you don't understand. It's because at the level at which you experience it, it's not the way that they experience it. It's not taking away from them what they went through or what they faced, but it's you in a state of sympathizing with them. It just becomes, like I've just literally watched it like 15 minutes ago. So this is literally my first reaction to seeing those videos. At the same time, it just tells you these things happen anywhere. Tragedy happens anywhere. Nobody gets to prepare for that. We can prepare for what comes after that, right? We can prepare for what happens for us when we die, after we die. But before, or the event, you don't get to prepare for that. So my greatest grief goes with people that are in there, and y'all keep them in prayer. If anybody was over there, if you're family over there, if you're family in Boksburg or family that works in Boksburg, check on them. Wow.